What's up, guys? Mitchell Gonzales, the Bearded Realtor here. Hey, are you thinking about making a move to the Denver area and you're asking yourself, how much does it cost to live in Denver? Well, you're in luck. Today, I'm going to go over how much some of the basic essentials cost you in the Denver metro area. So, let's hang out. What's up, you guys? Mitchell Gonzales, the Bearded Realtor here. If you've seen one of my videos before in the past, thanks for coming back. If you're checking out one of my videos for the very first time, make sure you do click that red subscribe button below, as I do post weekly content all about living in and moving to the Denver metro area. Along with that, as much as I love making these videos, I love helping people find their dream homes even more. So with that being said, if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, invest in a home, I am a licensed broker in the state of Colorado. So would love to help you out. Give me a call, shoot me a text, write me an email. I'm available 24/7 to answer any questions you may have. But with that being said, as you're checking out this video because you want to know how expensive is Denver, or roughly, how much does it cost to live in Denver, might be a better question to ask. Because I always say expensive is a relative term, right? That's going to be totally different for someone that lives in Manhattan versus El Paso. No offense to either one of those cities, but I mean, it's going to be different, right? Depending on how much you make. Denver is, considered it's probably one of the top 20 most expensive cities in the U.S., but compared to the other metropolitan areas, I think it's probably pretty reasonably priced. So with that being said, in this video, I'm going to go over kind of some of the general expenses that you're going to have. So if you're thinking about moving out here, obviously you want to know how much things cost, right? Or maybe you're just curious. That's why you're watching this video, which is obviously totally fine as well. I definitely appreciate you checking it out. Now, if you're moving here, you're probably wondering, how much do things cost in the Denver metro area? How much is it going to cost for me to live out there? And if you hear some of these numbers and you decide, well, that might be more than I want to spend, don't worry. This video is specifically focused on Denver, the city of Denver. So this is not for all of Colorado. So if you decide, hey, I really want to live in Colorado, but I'd like to find somewhere that's a little lower cost of living, then great news. There's a ton of great cities all around the Denver area. I'll go ahead and link my video to the 7 most affordable cities near Denver, but there's a lot of other affordable options in the area that you can also check out. So if you feel like some of these numbers are a little high, don't be scared. There's definitely going to be the right city for you. So I'm going to try and kind of keep the costs that I'm going to share with you guys to just general living expenses. And I'm not going to go over a ton of Denver averages versus national averages, right? Because you'll get bored hearing both of those numbers. I am going to give you the average cost of a lot of things, but I'm not going to compare them all to the national average because that would just be too many numbers and get very confusing. But I will give you kind of what, if you're moving out here, the things that you're going to be spending money on. So I'm going to be talking about housing. I'm going to be talking about transportation. I'm going to be talking about food. If you are out shopping for food at the grocery store, I'll be talking about going out and eating food. So roughly cost of eating at different restaurants, the average of that. And then also the cost of entertainment, right? Because you got to have things to do. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and switch things up a little. If you've seen one of my videos before in the past, normally I wait until the end of the video to talk about housing, but I'll talk about it first today. So if you're thinking about moving here, housing is probably the main thing that you're asking for when it comes to the cost of Denver. I mean, obviously there's a lot of essential costs, but how much does it cost to buy a house? So this video, so I'm a realtor, I am going to be focusing on buying a home. And so to give you a rough idea, to buy a home, the average price, now this includes your single family homes, your attached, any type of house, you're looking at, on average, the timing of this video, it was around $590,000. Now, to compare that one, I know I said I wasn't going to be comparing a lot of averages to the national, but this one's important. The national average, according to National Association of Realtor, was right around $410,000. And so both these numbers were factored in for June 2023. So a pretty large gap compared to the national average, but still well below a lot of other metropolitan cities like your New York's, LA, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., a lot of places, other East Coast cities that I'm drawing a blank on, but it's still pretty reasonably priced compared to a lot of those. Now, to give you an idea, Denver in January of 2020 was at 425,000. So from 425 in January 2020 to 590. We've seen some incredible appreciation over the years, which is great because if you're thinking about buying, obviously you want to be in a great area, you want to have a great home, but you want to have a home that you know is going to continue to appreciate in value. And that's what's been happening with Denver. We've been seeing that constant year over year appreciation, which is fantastic. You can buy a home with confidence knowing that, down the line you're going to have some pretty great equity in your home. So that's always a big thing. Now, the cost of, the essentials of, having a home. So the energy bill on average was right around $154 a month. So that's going to mainly include like your gas, your electricity. So basically your heating of the home and everything and all of that, and the electricity of the home. Now that actually is a little lower than the average. The average really is, it's about 13% lower. Now I think a lot of that can be attributed to the fact that solar panels have become extremely popular out here. So you're going to see a lot of homes with solar panels. That's obviously going to lower your electricity cost if they're paid off and everything. So that's definitely big. And then the other big one is going to be your internet, right? You can't have a home without internet. It's just not possible these days. Your average internet bill, it's going to be right around $70. Now, if you start throwing in like, your cable and all your movie channels and all of that, you can get into $200 really quickly. But I know a lot of people who just pay the $70 for internet and then a couple streaming services, and that works out just fine. So those are some of the main costs associated with buying a home and then also maintaining and just owning the home with utilities. All right, so next I'm going to talk a little bit about transportation in the Denver area. So now if you live like within the city and you're working within the city, commuting's not bad. It's definitely very walkable, very bikeable. But let's say if you live in one of the suburbs, then you're going downtown. Our transportation, it's catching up. I don't think it's quite where it needs to be. So a majority of people do own cars in Colorado. So, I mean, your car costs are going to be pretty similar to other states. If you bring in a car, obviously that's going to be great for you. But just know that if you are looking at buying, and maybe you're from like Texas or California or Florida, you probably never had to worry about this, but you will have to buy you will have to buy a car that has all-wheel drive. Do not buy a car that is not at least four-wheel or all-wheel drive, because you will not be able to travel very well in the winter. You can get around front-wheel cars, but it's going to be a struggle if you've never driven in the snow or the ice. Rear wheel, don't do it. But so that's the main thing with the cost of a car. You will have to get all-wheel drive. Now, in regards to gas, our gas on average right now is right around $3.77 for regular gas, and you're right around $4.47 for premium. So definitely, getting up there a little bit in the gas prices. Now, if you decide that you're going to take the bus, now RTD does have monthly pass that you can get if you're going to be a commuter that's using the bus frequently. For a local pass, it's $114 a month. So that's basically just to stay in the Denver metro area. Now, if you want one that's more regional, also can go to the airport, you're looking at right around $200 a month for that. So definitely still way cheaper than owning a car, maintaining a car, having to pay for gas. Bus is still going to be cheaper than that, which is nice. Or if you're the type where you're like, I don't own a car, I don't want to ride the bus, I am good just Ubering around. Do know that on average, Denver does have one of the higher Uber costs. I think it's probably we have a lot of one-way streets and traffic and everything. But on average, the Denver Uber ride is right around 6 miles and costs around $33 per ride. So just know that if you are an Uber person, then it's probably actually going to be cheaper for you to just own a car at that point. So those are some of the main costs associated with the transportation. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about food, particularly grocery shopping. Now, I know a lot of people that, not a lot, but I know a couple people that don't really grocery shop. They just eat out all the time. If that's you, special section for you on that. But majority of people need to go grocery shopping, and they want to know, how much do groceries cost? Now, like most areas, we've seen a nice little, increase in our costs in groceries recently, which has been super fun. So really the cost of some of the standards now. First one is milk. Now, for whatever reason, it seems like whenever you're talking about groceries, people always want to know to compare how much does a gallon of milk cost. So a gallon of milk right now will cost you $4.09 per gallon. A loaf of bread, you're looking at around $3.80 a loaf. Eggs, yes, there was the big egg boom for a while, so if you would have asked me this like 2 months ago, then I would have been like, eggs, $15 a dozen. But $5.84 a dozen right now. Boom, smoking deal on eggs right now. Get them all you can. Chicken breast, you're looking at $6.38 per pound. Apples, right around $2.40 a pound. And then the ever popular bananas are only 74 cents a pound. So who can't, like, almost free for bananas. It's great. When you go to the grocery store, you get a big old thing of bananas and it's like $1.50. I love it. So that's the cost of kind of some of your essential groceries, so you can get an idea of how much it costs to whatever your local market is. All right, so now the cost of eating out in the Denver area. Now, obviously, the cost of eating out can vary based on what your preference is. You can go very cheap or you can go very expensive, just like any city. So I'll kind of give you a range of a little bit of everything. So first thing is, say you just want to go to your basic fast food place, your McDonald's. You're going to be looking at right around $10 on average for a meal, for a burger, fries, drink, all of that good stuff. Now, if you want to go to like a lower end restaurant that's maybe sit down but still decent, maybe like your Noodles and Company, Wahoo's Fish Tacos, things like that, where it's like a little bit quicker, Tokyo Joe's quick but still, decent, you're looking at right around $18 a meal. Now, for something that's more mid-tier, when all of a sudden now you're looking at your 3-course meals where you're getting an appetizer, a meal, and then a little dessert, you're looking at right around $30 to $35 a person. And if you really want to ball out of control, you can go to one of our incredible steakhouses. There are a ton of them. You can go to a sushi place, and you can get up to $100 a person pretty quickly by the time you have those and drinks. So really something for every type of price point. Now, if you were to go there and get a drink, if you were to say to go get a domestic beer, you're looking at right around $6 for a domestic beer. For a premium, you could definitely get in the $8 to $10 range pretty quickly. And then for, say you don't drink, you just want a Coca-Cola or an iced tea, right around $3. So really something there for every price point, every type of appetite. Ton of options eating out on different price points, which is great. All right, so we're going to finish off and talk about the cost of different entertainment options in the Denver area. So there's a lot of different things to do in Denver, which is absolutely great. Obviously, you're going to move here and you're not going to just stay in your home. You want to go out and do things. So this will give you a general idea of some of the different things there are to do and how much they cost. So I'll start off with the most basic, easiest one, right? Go see a movie. So there's several theaters in the area. Now, to get a movie ticket, during nighttime, you're looking at right around $17 a ticket. If you're looking at one of the IMAX or Dolby Cinemas, you can get into the $20 to $25 range. So it's not too expensive. I mean, it's obviously more expensive than when I used to be able to go to a movie for like $5, but still reasonably priced for a night out. If you go to the theater and you start getting your different snacks, for a Coke, you're looking at right around $7, popcorn, $10, a candy, $6. So, you could go have a nice date night at the movie and spend math. No one said there would be math during this. $60, $70 for you and your plus one. So, gives you an idea of a movie night. Now, say you just want to go out on the town and have some cocktails. You're looking at right around $15 for a cocktail. Some other entertainment options. We do have the Denver Center of Performing Arts, which is fantastic. There's several different theaters, whether you want like a musical, you want an orchestra, you want a smaller production play. There's a lot of different options there. We have a lot of great, even Broadway musicals coming to town. Now, for one of those, you are looking at right around $100 a ticket for some good seats. If you're looking at one of the higher end, if Hamilton's coming into town or something like that, it's obviously probably going to be more expensive, but $100 can give you a good average price of that. So along with that, we have one of the greatest venues in the world, if you ask me, Red Rocks. If you haven't been to a concert at Red Rocks, absolutely do it. If you visit Colorado, make sure you go see Red Rocks. Try and go to a concert. For good seats at Red Rocks, you're looking at around $100, $120 for seats at Red Rocks. But definitely worth the experience, worth the show. If you've never experienced it, you won't want to see a concert any other way. So, and then along with those things, we obviously have our sports teams. We are the City of Champions, as you know. All of our teams win except for the Rockies, but still fun going to a Rockies game. Great experience, great vibes, a lot of fun. Every once in a while, they'll even win, which is just icing on the cake for a Rockies game. So on average for a Rockies ticket, you're looking right around $30 to $40 for a good seat over there. If you want to go see the Broncos, they're typically going to be the most expensive ticket. You're looking at on average right around $130. Now, if Russell Wilson and the Broncos start lighting it up, those prices could double pretty quickly. So get your ticket before the season starts, because if the Broncos actually win, it'll be a lot more expensive. And then you have our two most recent champions. You've got the Avs, who cost right around $100 a ticket, and then the Nuggets, who more recent champions, typically a little more expensive. Now, just know that courtside seats could actually boost up this number a little bit, because you don't have courtside. You have ringside in the Avalanche, but it's not as expensive as courtside. Nuggets game, you're looking at right around $108, $110 on average for a ticket. So a lot of fun, different entertainment options for a lot of different budgets, which is great. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Hopefully this answered some questions on how much it costs to live in the Denver area. Hopefully I didn't overwhelm you with too many numbers. I know I threw a lot of numbers out there, which can definitely get confusing, but hopefully it shows you that I think, in my mind, Denver is still pretty reasonably priced compared to a lot of big cities in the area. Like I said, if you decide that Denver is not for you, there's a lot of other great cities that you can check out. If you decide Denver is for you, fantastic. If you have any other questions about this, about housing, anything like that, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, write me an email. I'm available 24/7 to answer any questions you might have. Sorry, I can't speak because I've been saying too many numbers. Along with that, if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you do click that red subscribe button below, as I do post weekly content all about living in and moving to the Denver metro area. So with that being said, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Bearded Realtor, signing off.